Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. And today we get to be joined by one of our sponsors, HORAN. We're going to be joined by Shannon Schumacher. She's going to talk about benefits that they're seeing in Northern Kentucky. So this episode is going to be super HR focused. HR leaders, you're really going to want to pay attention to this one. And in addition to thanking HORAN, who is an episode sponsor, I also want to thank our other sponsors, CVG, our title sponsor, C-Crew Consulting, our digital sponsor, and our other episode sponsor, Heartland Bank. Now, in addition to talking with Shannon, I also want to highlight another upcoming event for HR leaders. You guys aren't going to want to miss this one. It's the HR Strategic Six Pack. We won't be drinking, we will be learning, and that event is on Wednesday, November 10th at Receptions. The Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, the HR 100 Committee, and Northern Kentucky SHRM have collaborated to recruit local and nationally recognized speakers who are going to present timely strategic content. You're also going to be able to obtain 6 strategic business credits for this event. So you're not going to want to miss it. Lunch and breakfast options are going to be included. It's a long day, but it's going to be really important for people who are HR leaders and looking to learn more. So before we hear from Shannon and more about the member benefits that HORAN is seeing in the area, let's hear from our sponsors.
CVG Airport is the lowest fare airport in the tri-state region with 54 nonstop flights and direct international service to 7 destinations, including Paris, France, and now home to both DHL's and Amazon's global cargo hubs. The airport is furthering its position as leader in aviation and is deeply committed to being an economic driver for the community. You can learn more and start your next adventure at cvgairport.com.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C-Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C-Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C-Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Hi, welcome back to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast. I am here with Shannon Schumacher, an account executive with HORAN, and she is here to tell us today about some of the things that they do with benefits. So, Shannon, how about you introduce yourself?
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time and I'm excited to be here. As you mentioned, I'm Shannon Schumacher. I'm account executive. I'm also our Kentucky market leader. At HORAN, we focus on health, wealth, and life. We strive to do more. We work harder. We deliver all the strategic benefits, planning, and execution that you expect from a true partner. We try to do that with laser focus and on your short and long-term needs and outcomes. And my goal is really just to build lasting relationships and become an extension of your HR team to help manage your benefits while improving your overall employee experience.
Well, that is great. We are so thankful to have you here. So, if you could, what is one of the biggest challenges that many companies face today as it pertains to benefits?
That's a question that continues to change over time. And I will say I've been working in the insurance field for, I do hate saying it, but close to 20 years. And the one thing that I do know is with insurance, it's constantly changing. And, sometimes the changes are frustrating, but sometimes the changes can lead to creative solutions and better outcomes. But to really dive into that question and answer your question, what I'm seeing in the way of challenges that a lot of companies are facing really pertains to workforce and recruiting and retention. And HR teams are just spending most of their time trying to focus on the recruiting and retention. And a lot of that goes hand in hand with their benefits and, having a package that they're able to offer that is very competitive with, let's just say, company ABC down the street. If they hire John Smith and, 5 days later he goes down the street for 50 cents more, then they've just spent a lot of their time, effort, and energy in recruiting that individual just to lose them. So, what we are really seeing is organizations having to spend a lot of time beefing up not just their benefit packages, but their hourly pay, their salary increases, all of this too, changing the way that they are budgeting. Things that they put in their budget just a couple of months ago are now exploding because they can no longer offer that set package. They have to increase and make things a little bit different. And one of the things that we are seeing coming down the path is, what are these extra perks and what can companies be offering that might be costing them more or might be, a little bit more on the employee side of cost, but it's at least there within the organization.
Right. So you mentioned employee perks. Can you tell me a little bit more about those?
Yeah. So, what I would think about when I think about employee perks is just the extras, the above and beyond offerings that might sway an employee one way or the other to choose that employer. Perks will come in different forms. They might be reward packages, different services that maybe a company offers. Some will look at a perk as just the facility. Do they have free parking? Is it under shelter? Can they get in and out? Does the bus line go there? And then others go into a little bit more detail of bonuses and payouts and time off. What about company offerings? I mean, really, the list is ongoing, but the way that I would think about a perk is, they are there to help employees feel valued and have a great experience often from day one. So, you've got to think about employers have got to think about their employees being their biggest assets and what would be that draw. So, one of the things I do want to say, like a shameless little plug, HORAN offered a series of webinars titled Boldly Building Benefits. And one of our sessions was designed specifically on employee perks. And so, we had a wide range of employers coming and speaking on what perks they offer to their employees. And they're really going into a lot of interview process and diving a little bit deeper into those perks. So if anybody on the podcast is interested, just have them reach out and I can certainly send them that link. But it was really fun to listen to, what different organizations were offering as far as perks are concerned, both regional and nationally.
Right. I know that I am a fan of free parking. So tell me, what about some of the potential obstacles that people are facing today?
Yeah, so, perks is just that. It's an offering, it's great perks. But what I will say is, perks is not a one size fits all, just like your benefits are not a one size fits all. I would really caution organizations and employers to vet perks before just jumping into, hey, let's offer this or let's take a look at this. There are a lot of shiny objects out there when it comes to perks, but is that going to fit your organization and your culture? So a lot of times what I will talk to my clients and prospects about is, ask yourself questions. Ask yourself first, how diverse is your workforce? You might even have some conflict and issues within your own organization. Some things that have come up is multi-generation or generation gaps. What you might want to offer to millennials would not fit what baby boomers are interested in, or vice versa. Really thinking about what will appeal to your organization. The other thing to think about is, your budget. Perks can be expensive or they can, be a little less costly, but you want to make sure that what you are offering is not only going to work within your organization, but also being budget friendly and recognizing you might want to spend money on this perk because in the long run, it's going to help with your retention. And so maybe this perk is going to cost you, let's just throw out a number, let's just say like $10,000. is that $10,000 well worth the spend? And you may find out, yes, with the amount of individuals that we're losing when we try to recruit them and they come in and we lose them a month later and we've got to start that process all over again. Yes, it's very much worth that budget that we're going to spend on it. Another thing that I would say is you want to make sure to have your organization bought in. So, leadership, managers, nothing could be worse than, let's just say, offering a perk of work from home.
Mhm.
So we're gonna, COVID, we had so many people work from home. It worked for our organization. We're gonna now offer this as a full-time opportunity.
Right.
And you have a manager within your organization that is not on board. And so then it really feels like a negative approach for that particular employee versus a positive approach. So just
Right.
really understanding your organization and think through the clutter before just offering a variety of perks.
Yeah. And locally, what popular perks are you guys seeing right now? Is work from home one of the big ones?
So it is a trend, but it's a specific trend. We're seeing that a little bit more on the white collar, clientele. But I would go back to that. There is not one perk that fits all, not one size fits all. But we are certainly seeing a few that are becoming pretty popular. One of them, which does fall into benefits, is voluntary benefits. Those are on the rise. Just to put it in perspective, things like extra life insurance, maybe your work site benefits. Think of that as like your AFLAC student loan.
Mhm.
Benefit insurance is on the rise. We're having a lot of conversations with our clients and prospects around those. One that has been consistent and is still on the rise are wellness plans, whether they're company sponsored or even your medical carrier sponsor. We are definitely seeing those becoming more and more popular. Wellness plans that especially work in conjunction with employer sponsored on site or near site clinics, screenings, mammograms, flu vaccinations, and now all vaccinations, right? COVID vaccinations. We're seeing a lot of that. And then there's certainly fun perks that I love to talk about, perks like team outings. We are starting to see some paid vacation coming into play from some organization. Tuition reimbursement has always been around, but certainly becoming a little bit more popular. What we are seeing, whether it's work from home, is also flexible schedules.
Okay.
One that tends to be a good topic of conversation is pet friendly offices and pet insurance. So we're seeing that these are not anything new, but we're also seeing an adjustment with retirement plans, profit sharing, volunteerism. Um, Something fairly new, diverse programs. So we're seeing an uptick in diverse programs. And then some of my favorites are perks that actually make your life easier.
Mhm.
So a lot of conversations with organizations that offer things like dry cleaning, laundry services, babysitting services, things like that. So those are, on the rise. And then I will say, just personally, one of my favorite perks, HORAN offers it. And I know not all companies are able to offer it, but unlimited PTO. So we are seeing a rise on that. I do think it for organizations that have what I would refer to as maybe a busy season, those are really good benefits to offer because often we'll find when we do surveys that, organizations that do have busy season, a lot of those employees don't use up all their vacation time. So offering unlimited PTO allows for them to use a little bit more vacation time on the down season if there's any of those.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I mean, those are some great perks that you guys can offer and some things that other companies should look into. So, thank you again for joining us today. And if you are a podcast watcher or listener, please stick around and we will sign off with you guys here in a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Shannon Schumacher, Account Executive, Kentucky Market Leader. At HORAN, we champion bold innovation to help employers and individuals thrive. As an industry thought leader, we explore new horizons in healthcare, benefits, employee engagement, and wellness. We work harder to deliver all the strategic benefits, planning, and execution you expect from a true partner. And we do it with laser focus on your short and long-term outcomes to help manage your benefits while improving your employee experience.
So Heartland is celebrating its 110th anniversary this year. Recently, we partnered with the Kinkle family and the Fisher family in northern Kentucky, Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. And we have 3 offices there to serve the northern Kentucky region. Just remember, when the economy heats up, come see us at Heartland Bank, where banking really feels good.
Come on over to Heartland, where banking feels good.
Hi, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed that conversation with Shannon Schumacher of HORAN. I want to go ahead and thank our sponsors once again for this episode: CVG, our title sponsor; C Crew Consulting, our digital sponsor; and our episode sponsors, HORAN and Heartland Bank. Like I said, this episode was really HR heavy, so make sure you guys tune in next week for another episode where we talk to more business leaders in our community. If you're a member of the Chamber and you want to be featured on the Northern Kentucky Spotlight podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in becoming a member of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. You can find her contact information on the screen or in our staff directory at nkychamber.com. And once again, thank you all for listening or watching the podcast. I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.